This guy now has the best ever food review show. I have so much trouble saying that title. I wish he would change the name. This is episode 1925 with Sonny on the Joe Rogan Experience, and we're about to hear how he got started in his food review show process. Why is that so hard for me to say? Let's go. Coach Colin, coolest high performance coach in the world. Hit that subscribe button if you want the absolute best insights to the podcast and video you love. Let's go.
And so along the way, you say, I want to make some food videos.
Yes. So I'm getting sick of doing the client work. I want to make content for myself. I've read Gary Vee's first book, Crush It, and I want to crush it. And I love the book, and it taught me about content marketing, and that's something I started doing. Hey, instead of a corporate video, let's make you weekly videos or monthly videos, and from there you can offer value to the people watching, and then you can have a call to action. And I just thought, well, I could do this for myself. And I had a couple of different ideas, but the idea that stuck was doing food. And at the time, I had a couple of channels that really inspired me. I listened to H3H3, who did comedy at the time, and then I watched a channel called Jack's Gap, and he had this very wanderlusty travel videos that he did. It's a young kid from the UK who would go to India, who would go to these interesting countries, and it felt so remote. And at that time, maybe this is 2014, 2013, there's almost no travel content on YouTube. And if there is any, people are just trying to emulate what already exists on the travel channel, which is what I didn't understand at the time, because all the shit on the travel channel was so dry. It's just like, today we walk in Cairo, a city thousands of years old, rich with history. And I was like, this is so fucking boring. Why not mix something more spontaneous, a little bit more humor, the pacing of YouTube, faster pacing, and make a completely new travel format that people hadn't seen before. Now, it took me a few years to get it right, but that was the initial idea. That was the inspiration at the time.
So where was your first video? Where'd you go?
Oh, that's a good question. So I've made a few different pivots since I started. If you look at my first 6-8 videos, they're still online. I mean, my first video is just about a grilled cheese. My first few videos were in Korea, but I was just covering international food. I was doing nachos and burgers and a Juicy Lucy. And at some point, I mean, I guess that was just the practice. It was like, can I do this? Can I edit a video? Mm-hmm. Can I be in front of camera? And I just thought, nobody's going to watch about, is a cheeseburger good in Korea? That is not international content. So early on, I decided, and I wasn't shy about it. I said, I really liked Andrew Zimmern's show growing up. Before I moved to Korea, I worked at this job. I'm bouncing around a little bit, but I worked at this job at a home, and I would have to stay overnight at the home. I didn't have cable in my apartment, but at this home, 4 guys lived there. They're assisted living folks. And one guy would have seizures at night, potentially, maybe once out of every 4 times. He would scream. He'd grab a magnet from the fridge, rub it on his chest. Somehow that made the seizure go away. When that wasn't happening, I was watching Andrew Zimmern, Bizarre Foods, and Bourdain's No Reservations back to back on the Travel Channel. And this shit was so inspiring to me. As someone living in central Minnesota who just had very few experiences, it's not like there were a lot of international restaurants. Maybe there's one sushi place that was also like a Thai place and an Indian place. Like all the Asian stuff just gets mixed over here. And so I took inspiration from those shows, and that's another thing that helped me want to move abroad in the first place. And so I forgot your question.
This guy is getting so nervous in this episode. It's amazing, but he loosens up through it all. I started here because he has a very long, drawn-out explanation of how he got started. But basically, he moved to Korea, just decided he had no direction. He was young. He just decided to go out there. He worked as a teacher. He started doing video stuff. He started working with clients. He would do corporate stuff. He shifted to that. Like he said, he read the book Crush It and just decided to try a thing. He saw an opportunity. He saw like, hey, somebody's doing something and I think I can do it a little better or a little different, and then just went after it. That's it. Like that was the whole process. And that is the lesson I think that is in this clip right now, is that if you see something and you feel like you can do it better, why not try? Even if you're not in the mindset of I can do this better, if you see it, like he said, he's no Anthony Bourdain, but he got inspired by Anthony Bourdain, you know? So he just decided, why not do something that's similar to that? And now it is the most viewed food show on YouTube. Like, he doesn't even have to reach out to the Travel Network or anything like that. Or maybe he does. I don't know. But I know he's on YouTube and he's the most viewed. He has like almost 10 million subscribers. So it's like, just try a thing. I always try to bring it back to you guys. I know people like to focus on the clips and stuff of other people, but I like to focus on you, the audience, and what you could do with your life. And there you go. You have no idea what the littlest thing you're doing can form into. I mean, like, we don't even have to use Joe Rogan as an example. Joe Rogan started this just high with his friend, and it snowballed into this. I already made a video on that, but I love to just show other examples of it. The guy started reviewing grilled cheese. Grilled cheese. Like, imagine he turned to somebody with a grilled cheese and said, man, this is going to turn into something big. They'd be like, you're a moron. You don't know what you're talking about. He didn't go to film school. He just taught himself how to edit. He just taught himself how to like shoot videos. He read Gary Vee's book and then decided to like go after some shit. That's all it takes sometimes. That's all it takes. And then also he just took an opportunity. He moved to Korea, started teaching, just going with the flow of it all. Wasn't really worried, wasn't too down on himself, just kept trying things and trying things and trying things. And you can do the exact same thing. And I know I say this all the time, but it's true. There is your version of doing a video about grilled cheese that can turn into something absolutely humongous. This guy's no different than you. He was 24 and had no direction, had nothing, didn't even have money really. Like, if he can do this, so can you. And maybe it's not on YouTube. Maybe you're a CEO. Maybe there's a company that you can start. You know, like, everybody has something, but it only comes to fruition through trying. There's no other way for it to happen. So if you're unhappy with your situation, you have to go and try some stuff. And I again, sound like a broken record. I say it all the time, but there's a thing inside of your head that you've been thinking about trying and you just don't. You know how many people I talk to where they're like, man, they talk to me and they're like, man, I've really been thinking of making some videos. Then make the videos. Are you crazy? Just do it. Oh, I've been really thinking about coaching. Well, then go do it. They're like, what? What are you talking about? Go do it. Go do the thing. Like, you can name the biggest names in the world. Everybody was just like, I think I'll give that a try. Tony Robbins was just a guy one time. And he's like, I think I'm going to try this thing. And now he's like the biggest high performer, like the most successful high performance coach in the world. He just is. He's not the coolest. I'm the coolest. But he's the most, profitable right now. For now. I'm coming. But you see what I mean? Like, everybody has that. You see a painter who's absolutely great. He was just a guy who just, I'm just going to try some stuff. Like, just everybody just tries. And everybody's just a normal person until they get put on that pedestal. They get put in front of that camera. They get put up on, again, a pedestal. But they're just regular. They're not, like, it seems like they're great and amazing, but you're just seeing them after they put in all the work. Before all the work, they were just shit. They weren't competent. They didn't have confidence. They would stumble, and they were shitty, and they would drop the ball. They would do all those things. You're in the exact same position they were. You could do the exact same things. So, again, this is a great episode. Even though this guy is a little bit dry because he's a little bit nervous, he starts to loosen up throughout the episode. You can check out his YouTube channel. It's called The Best Ever Food Review Show. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. I'm getting better at it. His name's Sonny. He wears a bandana. Looks like a douchebag, but he's not. He's actually a great guy. Again, we're sitting at about 18 minutes and 40 seconds. If you wanted to just jump in right there, that's where it starts to get a little better. He starts going into stories and stuff. But other than that, try some shit, man. Try some shit. If there's anybody that's inspired you to go and do something where you went, man, I wish I could do that. Bro, you can. Just go and try it. And if you fail, good. That means that thing's off. Or maybe you fail and then you go, but I want to keep doing it. Then try again. And try again. Or maybe you get into it and you realize, yo, this sucks. I hate this. Try another thing, but keep doing that. And something will pop off. Like wherever you're at right now, if you're unhappy, it doesn't have to stay that way. It does not have to stay that way. I'm telling you. Just try anything. Right now, I'm doing YouTube. I'm so happy with my life right now. I'm going to do all these episodes. I'm probably going to film like 5 or 6 of these. And then I'm going to go do Uber Eats for the rest of the day. And that would sound like such a shit life to somebody else. But I love doing this so much. And I have no idea what this is going to turn into. It was just a vlog at one point. Then it turned into interviews. Now it's this. And who knows what else it's going to turn into. But showing up every day is the only way I'll find out. Show up. Do something. Try something. I'm out. 11 minutes. Jeez.